Hey guys, welcome to the Simplify Your Life podcast. It's Coach Simona and I'm glad you decided to tune in. What's up everyone? In today's podcast episode, we're going to talk about how to stop being so needy in a relationship. And I will give you my 8 tips on how to become more independent and secure. Now let's jump right into it. Alright guys, this topic is very near and dear to my heart, as I struggled with codependency issues and was extremely needy and clingy in the past. In fact, I was so insecure that I was expecting breakups from the very beginning of my romantic relationships. When you're constantly on the lookout for things that could go wrong, and you're focused on what your partner is doing, how your relationship is going, and so on, you are losing yourself in the relationship. I've done this so many times that I would do anything in my power to help you not make the same mistakes as I did. And in today's episode, I will share with you what worked for me and my clients, so you know what steps to take to improve your relationship with your partner and ultimately your relationship with yourself. Now, when we're talking about neediness, it usually has something to do with a behavior that we used to find beneficial in our childhood. Maybe that was the only way to get our parents' attention. Maybe we felt neglected most of the time, and we needed external validation to feel loved. As psychology professor Susan Whitborn says, the way we interact with our adult romantic partners is related to our earliest relationships with our parents. People with healthy upbringing are capable of secure attachment. They are able to value their relationships without being clingy. On the contrary, if you grew up in an unstable environment, you might be insecurely attached. If you're insecurely attached, you can be the anxious or the avoidant type. As Professor Whitborn says, if you're anxiously attached, you are overly sensitive to cues that your partner will abandon you. As a result, you become overly dependent on your romantic partners. In contrast, people who are high on attachment avoidance don't want to establish emotional bonds with their partners. So if you're listening to this podcast episode, there is a very high chance that you're anxiously attached. Actually, let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a more in-depth episode on attachment styles. Now, let's jump right into my first tip on how to stop being so needy in your relationship. Put yourself first. One of the reasons you're acting needy is because somewhere along the way you lost yourself in your relationship. You made your partner or relationship a priority and forgot about your own needs and desires. Putting yourself first sounds easier said than done, but there's one simple question you can ask yourself every time you feel disconnected from your truth or simply anxious. And that is, what do I want right now? At first, you may not be able to determine what you want. If you've always done what others wanted you to do, or you've struggled a lot with people pleasing, it may take you a while to tune in and understand what you truly want. But you have every right to do so. In fact, if you take away just one thing from this podcast episode, please let it be this. You deserve to be your number one priority. If you put yourself first, you will quickly notice that you will not only become less needy and clingy in your relationship, but also your partner will respect you more. If you want to dive deeper into the topic of putting yourself first in a relationship, listen to episode 54 next. I will link it below. And if people pleasing is your biggest concern, I have made a video on my YouTube channel called How to Stop People Pleasing. I will also link it below. My second tip is to take care of your own emotional needs. One of the reasons you may be acting needy in your relationship is because you expect the other person to meet your emotional needs. But that is such an unrealistic expectation that it's pretty much doomed to fail from the very start. You need to readjust your expectations and realize that your partner's job is not to take care of your emotional needs. It's your responsibility to communicate and meet your needs. It's quite rare to find someone who can meet all of your needs, and even if they did, wouldn't it be better to not depend on them? Imagine a situation where your loved one is on a business trip or has other things on their mind at the moment. If you expect them to fulfill all of your needs, how will you be able to cope with situations where they need their space or are simply absent? If you want me to create a separate episode on overcoming codependency, please let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, if you want to dive deeper into the topic of meeting your emotional needs, Listen to episode 38 where I share with you step by step how to do that. My next tip is to become more confident. If you're constantly enmeshed with your partner, that is a sign that you have self-esteem issues and you don't feel self-sufficient. The good news is you can work on that. In fact, one of the reasons you may struggle with your self-worth is because you have negative thought patterns from the past that are keeping you stuck. Some of these negative loops that our mind loves to get into come from different blind spots and cognitive biases that we have. I've made a downloadable free cheat sheet for you guys with the top 15 cognitive biases. So if you want to get it, just visit bit.ly/15biases or click the link in the description. Now let's move on to tip number 4. Spend more time with friends. I can't stress this enough. If you spend all of your free time with your significant other, it can become draining very quickly. One of the reasons you may be acting needy in your relationship is because you've left your friends or family behind. Maintaining healthy contact with your loved ones is super important. So if you want to feel less needy, simply go out with your friends more, or at least make conscious effort to talk to them more. My next tip is to let go of your controlling tendencies. Now let's be real here. Who else is a control freak like me? If you're listening to this episode, there is a high chance you're trying to control too many aspects of your relationship. I hear you. I know what it's like to feel so insecure to the point of trying to predict every move, every need, every step. But it's not your job to do so. You may have struggled with lack of control and emotional neglect from your parents, but it's not healthy to try to control everything and everyone now. Besides, you will find that control may give you a sense of power, but it will definitely not get you love. And if you want to have a healthy and happy relationship, you have to make the conscious decision between always being right or being happy. I don't know about you, but I'd rather be happy. Tip number 6 is to enjoy your own company. Let's talk about the buzzword of the last 5 years, and that is self-care. All jokes aside, there is a reason why so many people find that your happiness doesn't lie in the hands of others. It's completely your responsibility to feel happy and fulfilled. So the first step to taking good care of yourself is to learn how to enjoy your own company. I've dedicated an entire episode on this topic, so listen to episode 48 if you want to dive deeper into it. I will link it below. Now my next tip is to start a new hobby or passion project. If you're acting needy, that means that all of your attention is focused on your partner and your relationship. So it's time to try out a new hobby or start a passion project. It could be anything, from taking up online classes on drawing to learning a new language. Try out different things until you find something that you enjoy. I personally like spending a lot of time on Skillshare. This episode is not sponsored by them. I just love their courses. Actually, some of my favorite creators like Thomas Frank have classes there. So if you're looking for tips on productivity, I highly recommend you check out his. I will leave a link below. My next tip is to give your partner space. You probably won't like this one. At least I know I wouldn't. Giving your partner space could mean anything. From not texting them that often to being okay with them doing their own thing instead of paying attention to you after work. Having a healthy relationship is all about maintaining a healthy balance between being together and being separate. If you want to stop being so needy in your relationship, learn to be okay when your partner's attention is focused on something else. Give them a little space to breathe, and you will see how much better your relationship is gonna get. Now let me know in the comments below which one of these tips resonated with you the most. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on my weekly podcast episodes. Also, make sure to download your free cheat sheet with the top 15 cognitive biases at bit.ly/15biases. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.